Hey everybody, welcome to another video. I'm out here in the forest pretty close to my house. I'm looking at a machete by Gerber. I'm wearing gloves because rubber handles are really awful to swing with. They grab your skin and just wreck things. So, we got that going on. So let's just get into it. The sheath's got a zipper. It does come with a sheath. So it makes it getting out really easy. Now, one thing we need to understand, everybody needs to understand this, I have no idea what the steel is, and it turns out it doesn't necessarily matter. Knife steel is kind of knife steel. There are betters if you get into the super steel class, like the CPMs and the I don't know all the names of them, but the CPM 3V is probably my favorite. They're way more expensive, and for a $60, $70 machete, that's not bad. I'll bet this thing's probably $10.85, $10.95. So yeah, made by Gerber. Like I said, it's a rubber handle. I don't like that, and I do not like lanyards on things unless it's a brightly colored lanyard. Steel doesn't necessarily matter. I say necessarily with a huge grain of salt because some steels obviously are better for some things than others. If you're whacking something, one of the 1055s through maybe even 1095 would make something decent. You get into a harder steel, you don't want to whack stuff with it. But what matters the most is not the temper, not the heat treat, none of that. It's the edge geometry. And this has a very shallow edge geometry. So it's not steep, it's shallow. It needs to be steep. Now I put this micro bevel on there, and you can see the remnants of the polishing compound on there. So at one point this was shaving sharp. It is no longer shaving sharp. I've whacked enough trees with it. That edge just isn't going to hold an edge to shave with. It did pop one hair off. I'm looking over here. There are a few dings in the blade, but I'm not certain if that's for me hitting a rock or a tree. But anyway, what I'm gonna do here, so this is my little log of testing. I need this space gone. So what I thought about doing here is cutting this out and using the machete to chop it. One nice thing about this machete is it's got a lot of weight up here in the tip section, so it's gonna drive some power when you swing it. It will cut through anything. You don't have to worry about that. So machetes to me are kind of a one-type tool. You bring it in place of both a knife and an axe, so it should be able to do both tasks. So this is a box elder maple. It is a maple. It's a lighter maple, but it's a hardwood. Let's whack some things, right? That's what we're all here to see, right? How this thing whacks. So I want to make some feather sticks, so I'm gonna need something long enough that I like to brace into my shoulder when I make a feather stick, so I can kind of get in there with. You can't even see that. Yeah, I like a feather stick so that when I put it up against something, I can brace it against my shoulder up here. That way I've got ultimate control. I can use both hands on my knife, right? But we're going left-handed today. Good thing I'm kind of ambidextrous. That really digs in there. That's not too bad, right? A few hits, you'd be through if I had a little more coordination in my left hand, right? Yeah, that ain't too bad at all. That's halfway through that. Give it a little angle and you're off to the markets. So yeah, with that tip section, with that design, it's got some driving force. See that right in there? I like that. But again, I'm probably rolling the edge. I hope I'm not, but Gerber is kind of a good company. I mean, their Bear Grill stuff is garbage. I'll try it with this hand again. Kind of limp wristing it just to see how it does with just the weight of the hatchet. That's all right. That's all right. We all know it's gonna split. That's not a question at all, right? Nobody's is wondering. Now, if you like to hold your knife up against what you're splitting like that and drive down, it's not great because you want the belly of it right there, but you can't really get in there right there. You really want to be able to hold those two tight together and baby step into it, right? So yeah, that's all right. Get the spiders off of here and have us a seat. That's very dangerous. Good thing I'm done having kids. Also, we're gonna gather some fat wood. We got a number of projects to do while we're out here in the forest. That noise, I don't know about you guys. I got a lot of comments on my last video about scraping sounds. What about ringing sounds, man. That just, every hit is unless you sink it, it's that dingy ringy nonsense. So, feather sticking, so like what I said, I want a relatively flat surface here. Putting it in there, and like I said, I put it up against my shoulder here, so you do want a pretty blunt end. I lean into it like that. Not really hard, you don't want to hurt yourself, but I do lean into it just, it's no secret, my hands shake. It's been that way since I can remember, but it got quite a bit worse while I was in the service. I was the United States Army Infantry. Now let's see how it does with feather sticks. Got Bigfoot sneaking up on me here. That's alright, huh? That does have an edge on there. Of course, I put an edge on it. You know, I could enjoy doing this. How about where we've been whacking? I'll be a monkey's uncle. And get my edge in the right orientation here. It's still got the... I am shocked. Turns out I do know edge geometry. No, man, I wish I was better at feather sticks. Yeah, shaky. I know, guys. Trust me, it bugs me more than it bugs you. That's not too bad. But I know half you scream at your camera, so when you got a machete, this is the way you make feather sticks, right? We all know this. You put the tip into something, get out your favorite rock hammer, give it a few dings on the cheap plastic handle so it stays where it's put. You drag it into it at the right angle. You just got to do a few practice runs until you get it. Let's put it on this side so you boys can see. Just pull it back like that, and if you're good at this, which you clearly can tell that I am not, make your feather sticks. The goal being to keep them on the stick for later usage. That's not terrible, right? That's not too bad. Push it out like that to give you more space down there. This isn't the best I've used, but I'm gonna give this thing a B+ at least right now. The only thing I don't like is this handle. Everything else is pretty good. Now, excuse my feather making sticks ability. Enjoy it for what you can do with it. I mean, if you're in the market for machetes, if this is the thing, pull back, just dragging my thumb gently across the surface like that. Trying to keep that same angle with a little bit of outward force like that. And that helps keep the blade from just driving in at the same angle deeper into the wood, and then kick it out. You can also grab it down here on this hand if you've got it cooked right, cut right. Brain damage today. But yeah, after whacking things straight across some wood, that's pretty good. What about battening? How does it do that? Well, considering botany is just cross-cutting along the grain, you can tell it's going to do well with that. A little bit of practice, you too can suck at making feather sticks like me. But I mean, that's not too bad for a, I don't know, $60, $50, $40 tool, whatever this was. I'll put the price right here. Alright, I dig it. I gotta figure out the handle though. So like I said, real quick review. One other quick thing, will it strike a ferro rod? Let's find out. I got my cheapo whistle. It doesn't work on my Treadmore ferro rod with it all tangled up, because lanyards, they're great. And do it both ways. I've shown y'all. Plop that down like that. Pull back. It's not too bad, is it? You gotta have yourself a good rod and a firm foundation, but that'll start a fire. Oh yeah, that'll work gloriously. The other way, if you gotta pin your material, this is not pleasant because of how big this is, but you can use that spot, so just... Oh, I like that. You can lock your thumb into here and just... Okay, this is changing my mind about this thing. Again, though, the handle, Gerber, rubber handles on hitting instruments is not pleasant. This handle, it is not fun. It's not fun at all. But yeah, both sides that drive sparks really well. Oh, I like that. And you can stick it on something like that and pull the rod across it. That works really, really well. Of course, this is a really good rod too. That's That's not bad at all. If only it were more pleasant to swing, which is kind of the whole point. You can't swing this, it's not that great, right? So what do I say? What do I give this thing? Honestly, you can take the handle off. You can take that out. There's an Allen wrench. 4 Allen screws. I wonder if that whole thing will pop right off. And then you can put a wooden handle on there. I would bring the edge up here. I don't like that necessarily. You don't need that space there. Touch up that edge. Yeah, I would actually recommend this thing. It's got weight to it, so it can smack a thing. And what else do you need? I'm gonna wrap that up. We'll call it good right there. There you go. Love your faces, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, before I wrap this up, like I was saying, it makes this awful singing sound. So that, and that really irritates ears. And it happens on any kind of glancing blow, and even with just regular chops. That singing, it's in my ears. That's it.